Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the class. Today we are going to discuss different methods of building estimate. There are basically two methods of building estimate. The first method is a long wall and short wall method. The second method is center line method. Let us discuss the first method, that is long wall and short wall method. In this method we try to find out the external length of the walls running in the longitudinal direction, and then we try to find out the internal lengths of the walls running into the transverse direction. The simple way in this method is to take the long walls and short walls, or also called the cross walls, separately, and then find out the center to center length of the long walls and the short walls from the plan. Then the quantities are calculated by multiplying the length by the breadth and the height of the wall. The first step in the long wall and the short wall method is to find out the center to center length of long wall. It is calculated by the simple formula, that is, we see the inner length of the room from the plan, then add the half thickness of wall on one side plus half the thickness of wall on other side. Similarly, then we find the center to center length of short wall, that will be the inner breadth of the room, then add the half thickness of wall on one side and half the thickness of wall on other side. Let me give you a simple example. Say this is our plan with the dimension say 6 cross 4.5 meters, the wall thickness being 0.30 meter. So in this case, how we find the center to center length of the long wall? It will be, if we see the formula, inner length of the room, that is 6, here it is mentioned. We will add the half the thickness of wall on one side, that is 0.3 half plus 0.3 half, so it will be 6.3 meter. Similarly, if we try to find out the center to center length of the short wall, it will be the inner breadth of the room, that is 4.5 meter. You can see it here, plus half the thickness of wall on one side, that is 0.3 by 2 plus 0.3 by 2, it will be 4.8 meter. This is the first step in this method, that we have to find out the center to center length of the long walls and the center to center length of the short wall. One thing about the long wall and short wall method, that this method is very accurate and there is very slight chance of any mistake in this method. This method is also known as the general method, or sometimes it is also called the separate or individual wall method. The different names that you should know. Thing you should remember, that the walls which is taken first is to be treated as a long wall, though its length may be lesser, and the other wall be treated as short wall. This is the one more thing you should remember about this method. Now let me try to solve a simple problem on this method. Okay, this is a very simple problem in which we are given a simple plan. The room dimensions are 4 cross 2.5 meter. You can see it here. And the thickness of the wall is 0.30. There is a one door. Dimension is 1.2 into 2.1 meter. The window is there, 1.1 into 1.5 meter. And if we see, this is our plan. And then if we try to find out this section, this AB. So this is the section AB, which is here, in which This is the foundation in which the concrete is to be placed. And then we have the first footing, then the second footing, then the plinth and the superstructure. Now one more thing which is given in the question is that in the first footing, second footing and the plinth, it is the brickwork is done there. So the first thing in this question is we have to find out the center to center length of the long wall, then we will find the center to center length of the short wall. So for this, let me calculate the center to center length of long wall, and the formula is inner length of the room, which is 4 plus half the thickness of room on one side plus half the thickness of room on other side, that will be 4.3 meters. Similarly, we will find the center to center length of short wall, that will be the inner breadth of the room, that is 2.5 meter, which is given here, plus half the thickness of wall on one side. 0.3 is the full thickness, half thickness will be 0.3 by 2 plus 0.3 by 2 on other side, that will be 2.8 meter. So we have found the length of center to center length of long wall and center to center length of short wall. One more thing you need to remember is how to calculate the length of the long wall. In this step we have found the center to center length of the long wall and center to center length of short wall. Now the question is how to find the length of long wall. The formula for this is center to center length, which we have calculated for the long wall, plus half breadth on one side plus half breadth on other side. Similarly, we can find the length of short wall, that is center to center length of short wall. Here we have to minus half breadth on one side minus half breadth on other side. Let us see how we apply this in our question. And the first thing that we have to calculate is the excavation in foundation. So let me write this. The first thing is earthwork in excavation. For this we have the long wall and we have the short wall. Now we know we have two long walls and we have two short walls. Now talking about the length, let me show you. The length for the long wall, center to center length of the long wall is 4.3. So if we have to find the length of the long wall, we know it is the center to center length, that is 4.3 plus half breadth on one side plus half breadth on other side. It means we are doing the earthwork in excavation, the breadth is 0.9, so this thing we have to add 0.9, that means plus 0.9 half plus 0.9 half, it will be 5.2. The breadth is 0.90. Now talking about the height, we can calculate it from our section, that is 0.3 plus 0.2 plus 0.2 plus 0.2, because we are doing the excavation. This is our ground level. From ground level up to the bottom, the total height is 0.90. So we can write it down here, 0.90, and then multiply 2 multiplied by 5.2 multiplied by 0.90 multiplied by 0.90, it will be 8.42. So for short wall, what we have to do, center to center length, that is 2.8, we have to minus half the breadth of one side, that is minus 0.9 by 2 minus 0.9 by 2, it will be 1.90. Okay, the breadth is same 0.90 and the height is 0.90, it will be 3.08. So I will write here the total, it will be 11.50 and the unit is going to be meter cube, because all the three dimensions are important here. Coming back to the question, and the second thing which has been asked to find out the quantity for lime concrete in foundation. Now if you see the second part, that is lime concrete in foundation, again for this we will write as long wall and short wall. Again we have two long walls and we have two short walls. The length will be again 5.2. Why? Same, because 4.3 is the original center to center length of the long wall. Then we have to add the 0.9 by 2, because for the lime concrete is in this portion, the breadth for this portion is 0.90. So it will be again 5.2, the breadth will be 0.90. Now talking about the height or the depth, now if we see in this question, the lime concrete is only for this portion, that is 0.30. So here, and the height or the depth will be 0.30. Multiply all these four, we will get 2.80. Similarly for short wall, it will be again 1.90, 0.90, 0.30, and it will be 1.03, and total it will be a 3.83. Again it will be in meter cubes. Now coming back to the question, the third part is we have to calculate the quantity for brickwork in cement mortar in foundation and plinth. Okay, let me write down this. Here now we have to calculate the brickwork in cement mortar in foundation and plinth. Again, how will I proceed in this? First of all, I will calculate for the first footing. Okay, in the first footing I will be having long wall, short wall. Then for second footing, long wall, short wall, and then finally I will have the plinth. For this I will be having long wall and the short wall. In every case we will have two long walls and two short walls, two long walls, two short walls, two long walls and two short walls. Now talking about their lengths, if you see here, this is our first footing, the breadth is 0.60. The long wall originally is 4.3. So let me write there 4.3 for long wall. I will add 0.6 by 2 plus 0.6 by 2. So it will be 4.90. The breadth is 0.60. If we talk about the height, it is here, the height is 0.2. Then we can multiply it and it will be 1.18. Similarly for short wall, it will be 2.8 minus 0.6 by 2 minus 0.6 by 2, it will be 2 point, sorry here 2 point, let me show you here 2.20, 0.60, 0.20 again, and it will be around 0.5 3. Now I have calculated for all the other things, that is for second footing and the plinth. You can see all the calculations in the similar manner I have calculated for the above. So let us move to the fourth part, that is now we have to do brickwork in superstructure. Now for this again we will have the long wall and we will have the short wall. Here you can see it. Now we have two long walls and we have two short walls. Now talking about the length, 4.3 is the original center to center length of the long wall. We will add the half, that is 0.3 by 2 plus 0.3 by 2. Why I am adding 0.3 by 2? Again the same answer. This is our superstructure. Here the breadth is 0.30. So it is for that reason I am adding here 0.30. Okay. Now it will be 4.60. Similarly for the short wall, and the length will be 2.8 minus 0.3 by 2 minus 0.3 by 2, and it will be 2.50, and the breadth will be 0.30, 0.30, and the depth if we see the wall here, this wall is 3 meter high, so the height or the depth, the value there will be 3. Here it will be 3 and 3, so calculating it will be 8.28, and this will be 4.50, it will be 12.78. 12.78 will be the total brickwork in superstructure. And if we see our plan, this is our plan, we see we have a door and we have a window, and at such places we won't have the brickwork, so these two things need to be deducted. So we have the deductions here. Okay, let me deduct these things. So here we write the deductions. For deductions we have the door opening and we have the window opening. We have one door and we have one window, and the dimensions for the door and window is given. The door opening is 1.20 in length, and in height it is 2.10, and for breadth it will occupy the space of the wall, that is 0.30. Similarly for the window, the dimensions are given, it is 1 in length and 1.1 its breadth, and for the depth it will take the 0.30. So this thing will be 0.76 and this one will be 1.50. So add these two, we get the total of 1.26. Okay, and this 1.26 need to be deducted from this 12.78, and we will get the net brickwork. This is how you calculate the net brickwork in superstructure. Then you have also calculated the brickwork in foundation and plinth. You can find out the total brickwork in your structure by adding the brickwork in foundation and plinth, add it with the brickwork in superstructure. Then the fifth thing which was asked in the question is the 2.5 centimeter thick DPC. So 2.5 thick DPC, the same process you will follow for the long wall, and for the short wall we will have the two long walls and the two short walls. The length will be calculated as we have calculated in the above four steps for long wall and short wall. So follow the same procedure for DPC. Let me tell you the answer for the DPC, and that will be the total DPC after adding for the long wall and short wall will be 4.26. calculated with yourself. And if you have any confusion in this question, uh, do tell me in the comment sections, and like, subscribe this channel. And this is it for the today.